This episode of Proper English is brought to you by Room 101.
And the idiom to blow the whistle on someone.
Okay, so last week we were all about our 100th episode, weren't we, Ali?
Oh yes, Dave. It was a chance for us to look back at the last couple of years of Proper English and to think about the plans we have for the future.
But then I thought, never mind what we're doing in the future, what we're going to do for this week's episode.
And then it came to me. Last week was episode 100, which makes this week's episode 101. And this made me think of Room 101.
Oh, from George Orwell's 1984. The room in the Ministry of Love, where prisoners had to face the worst thing in the world, the thing that each individual fears the most.
And this idea was the basis for a kind of comedy programme, would you believe, which ran for a few years on British television.
The idea of Room 101 in this programme was loosely interpreted, shall we say. And so, rather than the thing that you fear most, British television personalities were invited to put their pet hates into Room 101 and thus consign them to oblivion forever.
So rather than something you fear, it became something you hate, something that annoyed you.
And the celebrity had to convince the host to put this thing in Room 101.
So this is what we're going to do this week. Shamelessly stealing the idea from both British television and the esteemed writer George Orwell. You're going to suggest a couple of things that you want put in Room 101, and I'll decide if these things should go in.
And then it'll be your turn, Ali.
What? To go in Room 101? I'd rather not, thanks.
No. Tempting though the idea may be. What I meant was that you should suggest a couple of things to go in too, and I'll be the judge. Tell you what, you go first, Ali. What would you like to send into Room 101?
Well, I think you probably already know the answer to this. Snakes. I'm so frightened of snakes.
So frightened of snakes?
Really, really. I can barely even look at a photograph of one, and if it's moving on the television, oh, so in real life, jeepers no. So I have what's called a phobia. Definitely have a phobia of snakes.
It's true.
It's the way they move, it's the way they look, it's literally everything about them.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, this one. I completely understand how terrified you are of them. And listeners, we do have some snakes on our land. And it's not something that Ali likes to think about, frankly.
No, I try not to think about it. I could become hugely obsessive about the snakes out there.
Crikey, I know. But you see, the thing is, snakes are actually really useful.
Oh, don't give me that. I know they're not going to hurt me, and I know they're really useful, and I don't wish them any harm at all. I just don't want them to be in my life.
Well, as Paul Merton would have said on the television programme, you're asking me to condemn an entire species.
Frank Skinner.
And Paul Merton. And before that, Nick Hancock.
No. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Do what you like.
For the purposes of remaining in a happy relationship, I'm afraid I'm going to have to be like Paul Merton and protest, but then put it into Room 101.
Okay, thank you. Righty-ho, let's swap around. Your turn. Tell me the worst thing in the world.
Oh, plastic packaging on food.
Wow.
It's a curse. It's an absolute curse. When you've got individual cheese slices in a little plastic packet and you're trying to open that little corner,
it says, corner bit.
Oh my goodness, that says, please peel here. Never, not in a month of Sundays, are you going to be able to get that all nice and neat out. It tears down the middle, it gets stuck under your thumb and cuts the skin between your thumb and your thumbnail.
It is true.
No, I can't even. I can't.
And do you know the absolute worst?
Yeah.
Is if you buy a pair of scissors wrapped in that plastic stuff.
How do you get them out?
The only way to open them is with another pair of scissors.
And why do you think you've bought a pair of scissors in the first place?
Crazy.
Plastic packaging. Or not to mention the terrible, terrible damage it's doing to the environment.
Oh, you don't need to persuade me any further, Dave. They're in.
They're in. Awesome. So we've had one go each, and we've both had our pet hates consigned to the oblivion of Room 101. So have another go, Ali.
Okay. You're going to ask me what it is?
What is it?
The changing rooms in public swimming pools.
Okay, I'm not getting this.
Oh, you must be kidding me. They always smell. Or it doesn't matter where they are. They're just horrible. They smell like the toilet. Everything's just got that like damp residue of the person before you.
Oh, that's vile.
There's always a sticking plaster that's come off somebody.
Oh, that is just double vile.
Exactly. There's always a sticking plaster on the floor somewhere. There's bits of hair, and they're just revolting. I love swimming, but I hate the changing rooms.
Okay, but I do have one thing that is gonna ruin this, actually.
Okay.
So where do you get changed?
What if we put them in room 101?
Yeah. Because the idea of putting something into room 101 is that they don't exist anymore. And snakes, I hesitated about that, but plastic packaging, obvious.
Yeah.
But if you go to the public swimming pool, right, and you want to get changed, do you get changed in front of everybody?
Oh gosh, no.
Well, exactly.
Well, I feel like I've been ruined by the concept of the of the show. I think my idea is perfectly good. I just, you've got to admit they're horrible.
Oh, they are horrible, but you see, the thing is, they're horrible, but they are vital. Because without them, you can't go to the swimming pool.
Whoa! They're vital. It's not vital for them to be horrible, though, is it?
It's very true. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't think I can.
Back to you then, Dave.
Right. Telescopic umbrellas. They never work. If they work once. As soon as it blows a gale, they go inside out. They're supposed to protect you from the rain, but all they do is make it go down the back of your neck. Get rid of them.
I would like you to just explain a little bit more about what a telescopic umbrella is for our listeners.
With the small umbrellas that you would perhaps have in your handbag.
Clever idea.
Yeah, very clever idea, poorly executed.
Right.
And I want them to be executed.
What are we doing then? Are we improving the design? Are we just saying none of the telescopic ones must ever be made again?
Yeah, basically that's it.
I did see an advert for one that works both ways.
Excuse me?
I did. I saw an advert for an umbrella that works, like it can blow inside out and it's not a problem because then you can... I don't know now. I'm sure I saw an advert for one though.
But how can it work both ways?
Well, you see, in saying it, I realised I sounded stupid. I'm sure I've seen an advert for one.
Yeah. Well, I just, no, get rid of them.
Okay, so decision time, Alison, decision time. I'm going to say no, because I think, not that I'm petty and you said no to mine. That is absolutely not the reason. The reason is because I feel that it's better to have one that's a bit rubbish than not have one at all. No, that's the decision.
Okay.
And now it's time for Idiom of the Week.
Idiom of the Week?
I knew it.
Knew what, Mabel?
Have you not read it, Sylvia?
Read what?
This week's Gazette. It was on the table as I got here.
Oh no. Goes straight in bottom of Bertie the Budgerigars' cage, does the Gazette.
Normally, I would wholeheartedly agree with you. Not that I've got a budgie these days, not since the tragic incident with next door's cat.
Poor cat, didn't know what had hit him. Fearsome creature that budgie of yours was.
I know. That young man from the Council Dangerous Animal Handlers Department had never seen anything like it, had he? I bet he's still got the scars to this day. Oh, we did laugh.
He didn't.
Anyway, this is not germane to my news.
What news?
The news I was just reading in the Gazette.
In the Gazette? Oh, I never read it. Go straight in the...
Bottom of the budgie's birdcage. I know. Hey, you are a proper dafty at times, Sylvia Sweethouse. Sometimes I think I get more sense out of your budgie.
Well, that's offensive. You know how stupid my budgie is. Come on, tell me your news before I get one of me heads.
All right. Here's me news. That Mr. White from down the road, he's been deposed.
Oh dear, how painful for him.
Embarrassing, more like. Turns out he paid one of the election officials to dispose of some of my votes.
Did he? Dirty, rotten scoundrel.
I know. Imagine. Corruption at the heart of the parish council.
Shocking.
Mind you, there's still a bit of a mystery hanging over the whole sorry episode.
Is there? Oh, I love a mystery, me.
Well, nobody knows who blew the whistle on him.
Blew the what?
Whistle. It's an idiom, Sylvia. To blow the whistle on someone means to call attention to something, like barefaced bribery, for instance. It comes from 19th century England, when you had to actually blow a whistle to attract the attention of the police.
Oh, I couldn't do that. Not with my chest.
Oh, I know. You're a martyr to your lungs, aren't you?
I am. But
What?
listen very carefully. I know who blew the whistle on Mr. White.
You do?
I do. It were me.
No.
Yes. I overheard him on his internet-enabled smartphone showing off. And if there's one thing I hate more than small-town corruption...
It's a show-off. Oh, Sylvia Sweethouse.
So, I told on him. I'm a whistleblower, I am, Mabel. Not such a dafty now, eh?
Oh, Sylvia, you're the best friend I've ever had.
Truth be told, I'm the only friend you've ever had.
Oh,
What?
I've just thought.
What?
I was only other candidate in the election. The position will now default to me.
Ooh.
Blimey.
And on that bombshell, it's the end of another episode of Proper English.
If you enjoy our podcast, then please do rate us, leave a review and subscribe to us on your favourite podcast app. It doesn't have to be a long review, there's no word count, but reviews really help us to get noticed.
We know some of you are shy about writing something in English for other people to see, so if that's the case, then why not send us an email with your review?
Our email address is properenglish
All one word.
@sapo.pt.
Or you can get in contact with us via whichever kind of social media you use.
So, until next time, it's goodbye from me,
And it's goodbye from me too.
and thank you for listening to Proper English.